This is the question number 6, paper May June 23, paper 22, biology 5090. The figure 6.1 shows the pattern of result from an investigation into the effect of increasing light intensity on the rate of photosynthesis. So here you can see that the rate of photosynthesis in arbitrary unit is there, and it increases with the increase in light intensity up to what? See, from here, if you see here, at about 19 or 20, from 20 it is, let me do it little bit thick. So you can see here that the line here, this is on 20. So from 20, it has become, or slightly before the 20, it becomes a straight line. And if you see 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, so about 19.5, the line has become straight, horizontal straight line. And another important point, if you note that, another important point is there, that there is a straight line there is a straight line up to about 5, or no, not 5. Here it is away. Up to 5. Up to 5, there is a horizontal increase, regular increase in the rate of photosynthesis. So you have to observe these 2 points. And at this point, the rate of photosynthesis is about 60, 62, 64, and 65. Not 65. If it is 80, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So every small division is equal to 4 arbitrary units of rate. So this is 64, this is 68, and this is 69, 70. So this is about 70. So the rate of photosynthesis is 70 arbitrary unit. And at this stage, the rate has become constant. Now see, what are they asking? They're asking that describe and explain the pattern of the result between a light intensity 20 and 30. So from 20 to 30, you can see that there is a straight line, and a straight line shows that the rate of photosynthesis becomes constant. So we should write that between 20 to 30 arbitrary units of light, rate of photosynthesis is constant at 70 arbitrary unit. Not necessary to mention this point. Your answer is enough up to the constant, but it gives you only 1 mark because you have not mentioned why. Because there is the description and explanation. So this is the description and you got 1 mark. But To explain, you need little bit more explanation. So what is the reason? The reason is that because from 20 from 20 arbitrary unit of light intensity, light is no longer limiting factor. Light is no longer a limiting factor. If you are you have wasted time during the examination somewhere else, then you can answer in very short way that between 20 to 30 arbitrary unit light of light rate of photosynthesis becomes constant because light is no longer the limiting factor. It is also enough. Now, second question is the investigation was repeated with an increased concentration of carbon dioxide. If they're saying that the experiment was repeated, it means they have used the same intensity of light or same intervals of light. They just have increased the concentration. If initially they have started for low concentration, then in second experiment, they just increase the concentration of the carbon dioxide. So what to do? Draw a curve on 6.1 to show the pattern of result that would be expected from this second investigation. So remember that if it becomes constant, so the light was no longer the limiting factor, but other factors can affect. Temperature can affect. If you increase the temperature up to certain unit, then what would happen? Then the thing would be similar that the more the rate of photosynthesis should increase. So initially, as the concentration of carbon dioxide was increased. So see here, if carbon dioxide is one of the factor because all the other parameters are same, only the carbon dioxide is different. So if you see here, this is the blue line that I drew for you to see that up to this point, this is around 6. The horizontal line is coming from here. So remember that it would be same because the carbon dioxide initially was the same. But from where there is a change, this change is due to the decrease in carbon dioxide. So remember that you must lie your line that you are going to draw up to 5 or 6 unit on the same point. So don't go beyond this line. And then see, okay, so up to this, you will draw a straight line. Then better to use your scale. And after some time, you make a curve. And from where you will make a curve up to 5, you must make it straight. And even later on, you can make it straight. And It goes to the higher point from 19. This is 19. And then you make it straight. Because only the difference is that the rate of photosynthesis remains higher because of increased carbon dioxide concentration. Okay, so what should you remember that because light is one of the limiting factors. So the if more carbon dioxide is there, then definitely it would give the more rate of photosynthesis. But after the 20 arbitrary unit, it must be constant. So from 19, your graph must have an horizontal line. So it is also very important that initially up to 5, it must be a straight line. Not necessarily that your straight line goes above. You may make a curve from there. Not necessarily that as I have drawn uh, the straight line up to here, you may make a curve from there. Means it could be correct. So 3 important points. Number 1, up to 5, you must lie on the same line. Your graph line must lie on the same line that was already drawn by the paper. And secondly, that from 19 you should make it horizontal. Okay, so that was the part 2. Again, you will get 1 more mark. So 2 marks you will get. State the name of the product of photosynthesis that contains carbon atoms. It is very easy. You know, the only product that is obtained by photosynthesis is glucose. Now, this is the third part of the question. Outline the uses made by a plant of named carbohydrates. So what are the different carbohydrates in plants? First of all, you know the main carbohydrate that is synthesized by photosynthesis is glucose. So see, what are the fats of glucose? Remember that glucose itself is used only for respiration. So the one fat is respiration. So one use of glucose is to be used as respiration to produce ATPs for different functions of the plant. But glucose is also converted into sucrose. Why? For transport. Because in the form of sucrose, carbohydrate is transported to different parts, and where if there is a storage site, then this is converted again into glucose. So sucrose reaches to the storage part where this sucrose is converted into glucose again, and that glucose is polymerizes to give starch. So indirectly, glucose is converted into starch for storage purposes. Another important role of glucose is to synthesize cellulose. And you know, cellulose is the main structural feature of the plant cell wall. So cell wall is made up of cellulose and it comes from the glucose. So these are the different fats. Fats means not fat. These are the fats. Fats means their uh, destination point where they are used. So we should include our answer. For example, we can write here that photosynthesis yields glucose. This glucose is utilized in several ways. For example, you may write pointwise. It is oxidized in respiration to produce energy. And energy in the form of ATP molecules. Glucose is converted into sucrose for transport. Glucose is also is transformed into amino acids. Why amino acids? Amino acid for protein synthesis. And glucose is also converted into starch. Into starch in storage organs. That could be tubers in potato and so many other things. And glucose also produces cellulose for cell wall. So in this way, you have completed your answer that outline the use made up of made by a plant of named carbohydrate. So we have mentioned all the names, that is glucose, sucrose, and amino acids, and starch, and cellulose. So these are the answers for our uh, answer of this question. Okay.